Welcome to Between State Lines.
Welcome back to Between State Lines, episode 65, and we say this every single week, but I feel like, holy hell, this last week, the simulation has been getting so fucking stressful. Overloaded.
I don't get how we ended up here, and I truly have checked out. Like, I'm not paying attention to anything that's going on. My personal life feels like it's already crazy. I can't imagine what's going on in the world. So give it to me straight.
Well,
I missed.
Let me throw you. You're already in the gutter, so I'm just gonna kick you while you're down there. So number one, TikTok apparently is being sold, and it's just the American side of it. They're making a new app with the possibility of having the same algorithm and capabilities to reach like Europe and other parts of the world. That part's not known yet, so it might just be an exclusive to America version. However, it's going to be controlled by one of Trump's buddies who owns Oracle. So yes, that's going to be shitty, and they're going to make you download a new app. So I don't think a lot of people are going to get on it, and it's going to be dead. And we can honestly thank the Democrats for this, because they voted in lockstep with the Republicans to ban TikTok. So thanks, they fucking did this. Yeah. That happened. And then something really weird happened. So MAGA is being really fucking weird about Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to be careful what I say here, because I don't want us to get in trouble. But so MAGA, the Senate voted to unanimously, by the way, to make October 14th, Charlie Kirk's birthday, not a national holiday, but like a national day, like Charlie Kirk Day. And it's currently being voted on in the House, or was being voted on today. So a guy who was just a podcaster like you and I, way bigger, but a podcaster, is getting a national day because he was assassinated. And Christian. What the fuck?
Is this a federal holiday?
I bet it will be. I mean, October 14th, it's going to be probably, Trump hates federal holidays, so maybe not. I don't know.
What?
It's so weird.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just the first thing you have to tell me. Okay.
Yeah. It gets worse. So not only that, MAGA has started going to Starbucks and ordering Charlie Kirk's tea. He ordered a Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys, apparently like 5 times a day or whatever, to help, because he did a lot of public speaking or whatever. So he ordered that drink every day, and so people, or MAGA, is going to Starbucks and they're ordering this drink, and when they are asked what their name is, they tell the barista, Charlie, I am Charlie Kirk. They will write on the cup Charlie Kirk and say Charlie Kirk out loud. Baristas don't like this because it's political, and they just don't. It's not, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So a lot of them said no.
Because they don't want to be forced to do something because it's their job and make somebody else's political statement.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they've been saying no to writing like Charlie Kirk. They're like, oh, we'll write Charlie. We're not going to write Charlie Kirk. It's political. We don't do that.
Yeah.
And when they say no, right? And when they say no, the MAGA people are recording themselves screaming at, yelling at, harassing these poor baristas. Who get paid, I don't know, $15 an hour, or harassing them for not saying and writing Charlie Kirk's name. Now, I saw 2 separate videos. One, a girl did it in the drive-thru, this whole Charlie Kirk thing. And the barista wrote Charlie on the cup, and then on the bottom part of the cup, like beneath like the sleeve, wrote "Feel better," because apparently this is a drink that people get when they're sick. And unless you are chronically online, you don't know this whole stupid trend is going around. So she got upset and doxed the actual location on TikTok and like complained about it online. Another lady, an old lady, did the same thing in store, and she got the cup and went home whenever. And apparently, she said the barista wrote "loser" on the cup, and she showed the cup and like went. Her and her son went into the store and like harassed the manager and like demanded he fire the employee. Starbucks corporate did like a deep dive and like watched the video. No one wrote anything on the cup at all. The lady went home and
Of
did it
course.
herself.
Of course.
Yeah, so like fucking fucking weirdos are doing this.
Gotta start a fight with somebody because they don't care in the right way. I guess that's the part that gets me is like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, you can't say anything. You can't not say anything. Like, you're the
I know,
devil,
you're like,
and I can't understand how did we get here?
it's so annoyingly frustrating because yeah, you can't say anything. Like either way, you're fucked.
Yeah. Can't say anything.
Now, um, Candace Owens, who was friends with Charlie Kirk, best friends, whatever. She has been like getting a lot of traction this week because she has been claiming that Israel or people who are on working on behalf of Israel are responsible for Charlie Kirk's death and not this kid. She claims that Charlie was pressured by pro-Israel donors and influencers to adopt a more favorable stance on Israel. And apparently, as of late, before he died, he was becoming more and more not necessarily anti-Israel, but like less supportive of Israel, and then kind of like just stepping back and not supporting them.
Okay.
So she's pushing this. I mean, like, I think something's going on because the texts that they released from the killer to his either roommate or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever they are saying that this person was to that the shooter, are kind of sketchy and really weird, and not something that a Gen Z person would be texting someone. Like the language does not make any sense. The way they're saying things. So, yeah.
I mean, kind of scary to make any comments on that one, you know.
And then,
But I believe it. I also heard the spin that like they must have had some affair, and I think that would be what they'd want you to think if they want to discredit. Just saying.
now I did see the affair things. I do think that they had a pretty close relationship, which I'm not saying I think they had an affair, but it seemed like it was bordering inappropriate like lines, you know?
I
But
mean,
probably
I don't know.
not.
I don't know their relationship at all. I just think that would be something that they'd want you to pay attention to should somebody be, because I haven't heard what you're telling me, but I'm like, that makes sense.
That does make sense. They push this. Oh, she was a jealous person.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, she's a grieving mistress. Okay, sure. I'm going to listen to what's being said, even if I don't think that she's the most credible person. I think that that's
Right.
more that's information that's more dangerous to say than not.
Exactly. Um, but so she said that, and she's been like, it's been like a multiple day video thing that she's been on this like train for. Um, Tucker Carlson has been very similarly doing the same thing, but not accusing Israel necessarily of doing it, but calling out Trump and the administration for taking advantage of his death and like the situation and pushing more division in the country and kind of like alluding to maybe in a way it was not as clean cut a case as they're making it out to be, like this kid did this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been doing that too, but claiming that texts are fake because again they don't seem like they're written by someone who's 22 or 23.
What happened? Wasn't he like buddy with Trump? What
He
happened?
was. He's it's been a weird few years for Tucker. I feel like he's becoming uh more moderate, and it's weird because it's like not truly moderate, but like less MAGA than
Okay.
MAGA.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
I'm guess I was not expecting that.
I did not have that on our bingo card for 2025. That
Yeah, but truly, do we know anything?
right?
The only thing I know is this is most likely a simulation.
It's definitely a simulation. It has to be. There's no way. There's no fucking way. Um, it's not like there's no fucking way. So that's 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 that. And I'll probably have to cut some of that out so we don't get like reamed online. But it's been a weird week. Jimmy Kimmel got canceled because he made a joke about Trump on his show. So freedom of
That's
speech is
wild.
under attack. Yeah. Yeah.
That's honestly, that's really scary.
And it's like it's kind of it's scary and it's weird like MAGA they're all saying like, well, it's just cancel culture, like we're just doing the same thing you guys did, but no, because you guys Trump is putting pressure on a company to do something because somebody spoke out. If ABC just did this on their own accord, that wouldn't be a problem. But like they
When
did
was
it because
anybody fired for the like Biden I did that stickers, or when was anybody fired for what they said about any other president?
yeah, I mean fucking
Mm. Because that president called and said something about it. Like, that's ridiculous. And he does it all the time.
hmm So we're fucked. This country's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yep.
We have
Mm-hmm.
just a reminder, we have 3 more years of this. In case anyone's keeping track at home, there's 3 more years
Yeah.
of this shit.
Time is going by really fast for like how everything hasn't completely collapsed. I'm just, what are you supposed to do, you know?
I'm begging you, California, Oregon, Washington. I'm begging you to like just break away, make your own country. I will move so fast to one of your states. Like, please. I. It's awful in America right now.
Yeah, but I don't see anything happening over here, so I wouldn't put your eggs in Oregon.
Just me begging Oregon. Oregon, please, Oregon, do something. Okay, so Creep Corner. We'll move on from politics. Creep Corner this week. So the first fact is doctors used to perform live dissections on condemned criminals in the 1700s who were sometimes still conscious during the first cuts.
Wow, I
Literal
hate
torture.
that. That is awful.
Yep.
Just, yeah, that's awful.
What kind of psychopath like A does that and probably enjoyed it? Those are probably your first like serial killers. Like, you can't tell me a doctor who was actual doctor enjoyed doing that to a person who is still alive.
They
Can't
were
convince
probably
me.
so disconnected from reality. I don't know. It just feels like people who are in that kind of setting can be like health service workers. Like they can either be an absolute saint or they're so disconnected from reality.
Well, thankfully, that's not a thing anymore. Although I'm sure Trump would love to bring that back.
I'm sure there are still a lot of people that are crazy in healthcare. They'd be so excited.
Yeah, it's like you've had your fair share of like, I mean, maybe not crazy like that, but like doctors doubting what you're saying
Oh,
is
it's just
true.
doctors gaslighting me.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, they're like, it's a virus. Like, go figure it out. Like, everybody else in my household's on antibiotics. And they're like, no, it's a virus. It's not strep. And then they send me home with paperwork of like, if you get these symptoms, it's untreated strep. But I don't have strep. But thank you. Okay.
I'm not looking forward to this upcoming flu season because
Yeah. Like, as I can't stop clearing my throat now.
number two, the average person walks past 36 murderers in their lifetime,
I
according
believe
to
that.
criminology. Yeah, I believe it
Yeah.
too.
I believe that, especially like, okay, my whole life I've lived like pretty close to I-5. So I think that that number is probably so much more for me.
Oh yeah. I wonder like that's just walking past murderers. I wonder how many people that you've probably driven past because you drive past so many more people than you walk past probably in a
Yeah.
given
And I
month
used to
or year.
drive up and down I-5 when I was living up in Washington.
So you probably driven past a butt fuck ton of killers.
Can't even imagine.
Uh, the Dead Man's Island in Vancouver is home to over 10,000 bodies, most of which are unmarked. So Dead Man's Island sits off of Stanley Park in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay, I was going to ask which Vancouver.
Are they like right near each other too? Is like Vancouver is like right on the border, or am
Well,
I thinking of?
Vancouver, Canada is on the top border, and Vancouver, Washington's on the bottom.
Mm,
And like Oregon and goes like up a little bit on the other side. So people get confused because like if you're coming up the highway, you'll go into Washington really easily. But like there's a whole other eastern side of Oregon that extends up further past that. I don't know. Me and a bunch of people were talking about it the other day and how confused we were about this state.
um, so the island was originally used by the Squamish First Nation, who considered it sacred ground, and according to oral history, it was the site of a violent tribal conflict, and the dead from the battle were buried there. And then from that on, they considered the land to be cursed, and local indigenous groups largely avoided it. And then, in the late 19th century, the island became a burial ground again, this time for victims of smallpox and other epidemics. Thousands of bodies, many unidentified, were buried in shallow graves, and the ground became so crowded that bones would sometimes surface after heavy rains. And like I said earlier, in total, it's believed that there's more than 10,000 people on the island. Um, and unsurprisingly, because of that, it's earned a reputation as one of Vancouver's most haunted locations. It is closed to the public, so you're not supposed to go there, but you can apparently by like boat um, during like low tide. But people who have been on the island or near it have reported unexplained screams and cries at night, apparitions of indigenous warriors standing on the shoreline or wandering the trees, uh, phantom touches in the middle of summer, or cold spots and phantom touches in the middle of summer. Uh, these sounds of digging, as if the graves are being disturbed. And then some say these spirits are restless because the land was never properly consecrated. Um, and then today it is off limits.
Well, so no thanks.
You don't want to go there? Let's go
No,
there.
no.
We'll sneak in.
Tell me about it.
How about this? We'll take a boat. We'll row across the bay or the river or whatever, and then you can sit in the boat like floating in the water, and I'll go explore the island, and then you can bring the boat to shore when I'm ready to go.
No.
There is a cave in Italy called the Cave of Dogs, where carbon dioxide collects at the bottom and animals suffocate instantly. But humans, obviously, who are taller than dogs and cats and other animals, remain unharmed because they're not at that same level. Yeah, don't go to the Cave of Dogs in Italy.
Yeah, don't go.
Or you can go, just don't bring a dog, and you're good. But if you're being chased by a leopard or a bear, run into the cave, and they'll die. They'll be safe.
No, thank you.
And the and the last fact I have today is that scientists once found bacteria inside corpses that were over 20,000 years old, and the bacteria was still alive.
Me, I don't understand bacteria well enough. What was it doing?
Just chilling in a dead body, replicating
Was it
itself.
just like the perfect environment?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, how it got in the body, being that old, is another question entirely.
But it can survive off of whatever's left for so long. That's kind of scary.
And I saw this last week. I didn't say it on the show. Apparently, they found proof of life on Mars. Like
what?
not like a Martian or anything, but there is. And forgive me, our listeners, because I'm not a scientist. I don't fully understand how all this works. But there is a rock that the rover on Mars got a picture of that was a spotted rock, like a leopard print rock. And it's the first they'd ever seen of this kind of rock on the planet. And insert scientific explanation here, but apparently is proof of bacteria being present on some kind of bacteria on Mars.
What?
Yep. Pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I have to know more.
Yeah, I saw it last week, and I meant to say it on the show, but then I got distracted because we had everything else going on. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow. There has been a lot going on this week, or I guess in the last 2 weeks.
I'm hoping it just culminates in aliens coming to Earth and taking over, because it can't get any worse than it already has. So
It can only get better from here. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. So aliens, you hear this? Come to Earth, please. Take over the
Yeah.
planet.
I know it's a simulation because like I just feel so mind fucked at this point. Like I don't know what kind of experiments they're doing and buttons they're pulling, but like damn.
They got some jokes they're
Damn.
doing, apparently.
Yeah, they
'Cause
think they're funny.
they think they're so fucking funny. Like, we're gonna make Trump president. Get fucked. Twice. So,
Seriously. Yeah, this isn't my timeline, man. My
yeah,
timeline, Seth Rogen had 2 girls.
I never, like, I've never been in that. I've never, like, that when you said that, I was like, I don't remember Seth Rogen ever having kids, so you're
Yeah,
definitely from a different timeline.
when I saw that article, I was like, what? And started Googling, went down a rabbit hole.
Are there other people that are from your same timeline that believe that he had kids?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't
You
know.
were
I
the
should check.
first. You should. You
But
might be the first visitor from that timeline.
I doubt it. Because actually, I looked it up online and there were other people that felt this way too. But the person I would check with is Lauren. So, I think I'm just kind of fucked. I'm from a different timeline. My
Probably a better
brain broke
timeline.
this last year, I think.
It's been a fucking year. It's been a fucking year. A motherfucking year. um, so I wasn't sure what to talk about this week, and then I saw a bunch of like really creepy stories on Reddit from people who like were stalked or followed or just creeped on by. It's always men. I think there's one female in one of these stories, but they're always men. So then I went down a rabbit hole and went on our Let's Not Meet and found a bunch of stories that I'm gonna read. And apparently these are true stories. They're claimed to be true. And again, I have not cleaned up the grammar, so if I pause or like say something weird, it's not me. It's the story. It's the writer. I'll do my best to correct in real time. But
For the most part, sometimes he's not perfect either.
oh, I'm perfect. You
It's
heard my
not me.
accents last week.
It's them. It's always them.
You heard my accents last week. They were impeccable, delicious, amazing, perfect. It's
Yeah, great accents.
okay.
No one
So
can do them better.
no one can do them better. Nope. I mean, no one can do them better. What? Oh, there was some clip I saw today. Ah, fuck. What is the show? Oh, it's gonna bother me. There was some show where they were doing a Boston accent, and it was like the worst Boston accent in the world. And I'm gonna remember it like an hour from now. But yeah, so great story, Holden. But
Yeah. So now I need to know.
I wonder if I liked it. Please hold. Let me check my Instagram. I might have liked it. Instagram Reels has been really good. I know we
Yeah,
said that.
if I'm honest, I haven't really been on TikTok.
Also, I sent you a reel earlier, but you are the problem child on Instagram now because it was recommended for you, and there was a butt Instagram reel about butts.
What? What about butts?
Um,
It's important.
well, let's see. I sent it to you. Let me pull the video up, and I said, "This is for you." Okay, so it's a a picture of a screenshot of someone's Facebook post, and it said, "A woman asked to put her finger in my butt during sex. Usually, me would have said an immediate no, but business brain kicked in. Think of this woman as a client. Now, how do we reach a mutually beneficial outcome?" I asked, "What's it worth to you?" She replied, "Well, what do you want?" My butt suddenly had leverage. We went back and forth and eventually settled I would get access to her Canva Pro, Duolingo Family, and Spotify Premium. I can be a tough negotiator, but I will also bend over backwards to make the client happy. If you enter business with me, I'll let you put your finger wherever you want for a good deal. That is on you. That's a
This is
fucking
what? This was
recommend
recommended for me?
recommend it for you.
What? For you, by the way. Okay. Well, I just removed that.
Just remove
What? Yeah. It should not be in my blend anymore. Jesus. How this only ended up there because of the shit you send me that ruins my
Okay.
algorithm.
Let the record show that Steph's mind and feed is just as dirty as mine.
No, if anything, you just tainted mine. Mine was all like plant stuff and healing. Now it's butts.
Always
Butts everywhere.
blaming poor Holden.
It's always Holden's fault.
Always my fault. Okay, well, I didn't like the video. Apparently, I'm trying to talk about the Boston accent, so I will have to look it up later. A bummer.
That's okay. I kind of forgot about it already.
Okay, so
I got distracted by the butt stuff.
on you, 100%. Everyone who's listening to this knows now what kind of person you are.
My bad,
Um,
guys. My bad.
so the first story is titled "He Followed Me in a Van and Then Wrote About Me on Craigslist," and this is by user Conscious Drawer 8204. So I was telling a coworker this story, and she suggested I share it here. Sorry in advance if I ramble. I tend to remember random details every time I tell it. Back when I was about 17, around 2009, I worked as a courtesy clerk at a grocery store, bagging groceries and bringing in carts. My mom and sister also worked there, so the place felt like family. Most of the guys I worked with were protective of me, which honestly was a blessing, because I got hit on by older men all the time. My boss would even follow me home some nights just to make sure no creeps were trailing me. He's the creep that was trailing you. Followed you home. One incident, though, has stuck with me. It was an insanely hot day. I just finished wrangling a mountain of carts and ducked into the little pizzeria. I ducked into the little pizzeria corner of the store to cool down. Out of nowhere, this man in his 20s or 30s came up and handed me his number. He didn't say much, if anything, and just walked off. I was too overheated to react. The next day, a silver minivan pulled up to me outside. I noticed baby shoes hanging from the rearview mirror. The man tried talking to me, and I recall cutting him off and saying, "I'm 17 and I have a boyfriend." Usually that scared men away. This one did not. That night, near closing time, my cashier whispered that someone was watching us. I turned and watched, saw the same guy from the minivan standing around the corner just staring. I told my night manager, who immediately opened the office door while counting tills to keep an eye on things. The guy eventually left the store, but just waited outside. My manager ended up following me home that night again. A few days later, my aunt randomly texted me, which was unusual, we hardly talked, and sent me a link to a Craigslist misconnections post and asked if it was about me. It was. The post said something like this: saw you working at the grocery store, you were cute, you wore a bow in your hair, suspenders hanging from your shorts, a bunch of wristbands, and bright colored hair. Your name tag said Garrett. I'm 40 and would like to meet up. The Garrett part really freaked me out because Garrett wasn't me. My coworkers and I used to switch name tags sometimes just to mess with customers and see their reactions. So not only was this guy watching me closely enough to describe my entire outfit, but he also memorized the fake name I had just happened to be wearing that day. I ran to my day manager and showed him the post. He immediately replied to it with, "Too young for you, parent." After that, things got weirder. I'd see the same silver van around, but sometimes I wasn't sure if it was even the same guy. Once, I rushed inside after spotting it, and suddenly the man was already following me down an aisle. There was no way he could have parked that fast and gotten inside. When I screamed, he bolted before anyone else saw him. The police got involved and gave me an escort home every night for a week. Eventually, I transferred to another store in a different town and never saw the van or the man ever again. Being hit on by creepy old men unfortunately never stopped, but that Craigslist post still gives me chills to this day. I wish I could find it again. It was so unsettling reading how he described me. So, to the man who wrote that Craigslist post about a 17-year-old girl, let's not meet. Wow.
Yeah. Let's not meet.
That Craigslist. Okay, so I was reminded of two things. Number one, I used to always read the misconnections Craigslist posts. They were so interesting to me. I was like, oh man, maybe I'm on one of these posts. Someone wrote about me. Never, ever, ever.
Sometimes they were really funny.
Sometimes they were really funny. Craigslist.
Sometimes it's sad.
Yeah, they were. But Craigslist back in their heyday was wild. The Wild
Does it still
West.
exist?
It still exists, but they're I think their misconnections in their personals section was either scaled back significantly or you can't post there anymore. So they don't exist as far as those sections go. But yeah. But I remembered the whole handing someone their phone number. I once, when I was 20 years old, I was at a restaurant eating, and I wrote my phone number on a dollar bill as my tip. I was a $10 meal. I gave $5 tip, and one of the dollar bills had my number on it, and I gave it to her specifically to her, so she would see it. But weird, yeah. 20 years old.
Damn.
Yeah,
On a dollar bill.
On a dollar bill. It's probably floating out there somewhere. What a stupid.
Same phone number? Do you have the same phone number?
Same phone number. I have the same number for the last 30 years. Not 30 years, 20 years. But
I was like, wow. It's a long time.
But that same restaurant I went to, it was a kind of like an IHOP, but a little more upscale. And they had you could buy drinks there, mixed drinks and alcohol. And my friend had ordered what's the corkscrew with the orange juice and vodka? Or is
Graham? No.
I think it's corkscrew.
I don't remember.
I think it's corkscrew. But so my friend ordered a corkscrew.
I've never heard it called that.
And maybe it's an East Coast thing.
What is it?
Okay, I'm gonna actually.
Grapefruit and what?
It's orange juice and vodka. Could be something else. Like I could be completely wrong here.
Screwdriver.
There we go. Screwdriver, not corkscrew.
Yes. So close.
So
It's a
close.
fruit.
It's a fruit. Um, so he ordered the drink, and it was like it's like a upscale IHOP again. So like it's not gonna be a bar quality level drink. And according to him, it was like really watered down and gross. And so he wrote on the receipt that he was not leaving a tip because the drink was so bad and so watered down. And this is a separate day, so it wasn't the same time I was giving my phone number to somebody. But yeah, I remember that story, that happening, and being really weirded out by that. Dude, your
Watered down
standards,
and gross.
your standards are way too high, dude.
I would have been like, oh, let me make that better for you. And then you just pour a tiny bit of vodka in the straw.
Is that what? Do you do that sometimes?
I
Have you done it
have in
before?
the past. Yeah.
Nice.
Not in this last year. I haven't had to. I just, if people piss me off, I just cut them off and they leave.
But if someone if someone ordered a drink and they're like, "Hey, this tastes a little," if they're nice about it, like a little weak, do you remake the drink or you say, "Here's the vodka trick"?
I would probably just add some, but I normally make them heavy. Like it's not an issue, you know. Anybody who says it's an issue, like, oh, do you want a double? Because like I pour pretty strong.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I only work
many
one day a
people-
week. It's fine.
I can't imagine a lot of people return their drinks to like send them back.
No,
Like,
I've
yo.
had like one person that I used to work Sundays, and Sundays were mimosa day, and they ordered the special, and then they tried it, and they were like, "Ooh, no, don't like it." And then they ordered a screwdriver, and they were like, "Don't like it." And I think they ordered a shot of something, and I was like, "Okay, but this is gonna be the last one. Like, I don't care that you haven't really drank anything yet, but I think that we should learn our lessons. Like, you don't like orange juice here." That's the common thing here. You don't like the orange juice. Like, stop ordering orange juice drinks.
Oh God, I remember that screwdriver was like the first drink I ever made at home. So my dad always had vodka, and we'd have orange juice. So I was like, all right, here we go, my first drink.
Yeah. I liked Captain and orange juice a lot for a long time. That was like my favorite.
I I used to drink a lot of my partying days when I was like 22. I used to drink a lot of Malibu rum, I think it was like Parrot Bay Malibu rum, because it was delicious. And then I still to this day, I hate shots. I cannot drink like bourbon on the rocks or like whiskey on the rocks. Fuck that.
Yeah. I'm not a whiskey person. Like, I can have a green tea shot, and that's about as much whiskey as I could do. But it doesn't taste like it. If somebody's like, "Oh, sip this whiskey with ice," like, no, I'm not even
Gross.
gonna pretend I like that anymore. Like, I am too old for this. I don't like it. And I'm a lightweight, like 2 White Claws, and I can feel it.
White Claws are honestly the best, according to for me, the best alcohol drink because it's like not heavy in sugar, so you don't have like the bad hangover the next day, and it does the job. Kind of gets you nice and tipsy if you're me and you have a
Yeah,
few.
yeah, it takes me out, I feel like I just don't drink that much. So if I have like a cider and a White Claw, I am down for the count.
You are out.
Or I'm at Denny's way too late.
Eating steak.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a problem. Like I
Uh,
am now known there. The server was like, "Oh, you normally come in a little bit later than this." It's like, "Oh,
do you
you
want
know me
the
now."
usual?
Yeah. Well, I switch up. There's a couple of options of steak, but
Nice.
Denny's has a vibe. I'm
I
about it.
never. I feel like I was more an IHOP fan than a Denny's. Like they're both like just, I mean, delicious, but I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we were a diner family. We really liked to go out to eat like every weekend, basically. My dad was a truck driver, so it was like truck stop, like divey places. Some could switch it up. It'd be different like all the time, but so it doesn't really make a difference to me. But I didn't realize Denny's late night, they're like the only place that's open late. And it's fantastic. I don't know, maybe it's just my local one, but like bravo. Bravo, Denny's.
Top notch.
For real. I did not realize they are just a different caliber. But we
Denny's
don't have
always
a whole lot of like late night stuff.
Denny's always reminds me of I was probably like 23. I just started driving, and I used to, you know, uh, chill on Tumblr late nights all the time. And
Oh
I
yeah.
don't remember how I found this girl, but this chick, I found her account, and we like were, uh, I was like asking her anonymous questions. You had the anonymous question kind of thing that people used to do back in the day, and so we're like chatting via like anonymous posts that she had no idea who I was, and then she started posting how she was bored and wanted to go to Denny's but couldn't drive. Lo and behold, she lived in Arlington, Virginia, which is like 30 minutes away from where I lived at the time in Virginia. And so my dumbass drove to this chick's house, didn't know her, she didn't know me, picked her up, and took her to Denny's
How
and
did it
bought her
go?
breakfast. Awkward as fuck. Awkward as fuck.
I love it. Because I did the same thing. Um, my kid's dad, we met on MySpace, and then we were friends, and then he got a girlfriend, and I thought that was stupid, so I deleted him. And then I found him like years later, and yeah, he invited me to Denny's, and we went out for hot chocolate. And the hot chocolate was freaking terrible, man. It was so bad. But I ate the whipped cream on top, and he drank my hot chocolate so I could get a second one just to eat the whipped cream. I was like, oh, it was the beginning of a love story.
Denny's. Your
But
food's
yours just
great.
went
Hot
awkward
chocolate.
as fuck.
It was weird. Like I wasn't like confident in my like I wouldn't say game, but like my ability to talk to women. I was like I hadn't really dated anyone that long, so like I was nervous and shy, and it was 2 in the morning, and I think it was just weird. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
yeah.
think I was too. I was nervous and shy, and I told my friends, I was like, take a good look at him just in case I don't come back so that you know like what to describe.
Oh man, we both had first dates at a Denny's.
Yeah. Mine turned into like a 15-year relationship, but that was like literally the first time I met him. He took me to Denny's.
Kenna, her name is Kenna. If you randomly come across this podcast, I'm sorry, I was weird. I'm sorry, I was shy. Quiet.
Yeah. Sorry that didn't turn into
A
a
15
better
year.
story. A better story. I mean, mine didn't turn out that great in the end. Uh, the kids are great.
The kids are great. The
Yes.
kids are great.
Yeah. There's a lot of like everything set on fire though, so whatever.
So in the end, we're kind of like even, except you have 2 kids out of that, and I didn't get anything out.
Yeah, because what you paid for her breakfast, that was
I did.
nice. She's the real
Yeah,
winner here.
she's the real. She got it free, and she didn't kill me, so I'm kind of the winner too. And I didn't kill her,
Honestly,
so we're
yeah.
both
And you
winners.
got a good drive out of it.
Yeah, it was a memorable. Although one time I was very like maybe I was just being really a thirsty motherfucker back in the day. Same age, I worked with this chick, and she went and spent time with her family in North Carolina, like 6 hours away, 7 hours away. And
Okay.
she was posting on Facebook how she hated it down there and she was so bored and wanted to go home but had no way to go home. What did I do? I offered at midnight to go pick her up. I drove 7 hours to pick this girl up.
Did you have
And
anything going on? Did you have to switch around your plans?
no, I had nothing going on. I was off the next day.
How
So,
old were you again?
like 23.
Nah, that was just an adventure. And you know what? I did stuff like that all the time. Like, I didn't want to go to school one day, and Lauren was obsessed with this guy, and it was his birthday. And she was like, I would walk 500 miles to him. And I was like, do you want to? And so we packed up our bags and we took the bus as far south as it could go. And we walked along I-5, and then we ended up hitchhiking. We had blisters on our feet. Like, we had a couple of snacks in our backpack. It was wild. We made it there. We said happy birthday to him. It was like really short and sweet. And then it was like hitched a ride from some friends. She made it back to town in time to go to cheer practice after like 9 hours of just
Damn.
a straight adventure. But yeah, I did stuff like that all the time. Like, I had another friend that was like, "Oh, do you want to go to San Francisco?" I was like, "I don't have anything going on." Another friend that was like, "My dad will take us to Reno if you want to go." I was like, "Sure." I didn't even pack anything. I bought clothes when I was there.
Wow.
Adventures. Yeah.
I did have a better adventure. Same kind of situation. Same age. I was the wild 23-year-old kid.
Yeah, I didn't get that time because I was wild in my teens, and then I was in a relationship in my 20s.
You were an adult. You were a fully grown human.
No.
um, but I used to always like buy tickets to like concerts and like movies, and get like two at the time because back in the day like $20 a ticket for a
Yeah.
concert, and in hopes I would find a date. But this one time I won tickets from the radio station to a Seether concert. I recall that band Seether,
Barely.
and had backstage passes to meet them.
Whoa.
Um, and then got on a dating website and proceeded to message like 30 women and say they wanted to go. And I found somebody who lived in Pennsylvania, like 4 hours away from me, and didn't have a ride. And she had a boyfriend at the time, but still agreed to go with me. And I drove in the morning at like 5, picked her up at her house, and got breakfast, drove to the concert, had like an amazing, great day, like just so much fun and great time. Went book shopping afterwards and showed me all her favorite books. I drove her home and she gave me a kiss on the cheek. And like, I still have a picture on Facebook of us beating the band, and it's still there. We're still friends on Facebook. Uh,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was a great story.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I remember when concert tickets were nice and cheap, and I did go with random people. Like, I had a friend who was a friend of a friend, and we both had passes to visit our friends at their school at the same day. And so that's how we met. And like a year later, he's going to a concert with a van full of his friends, and he's like, got an extra ticket, want to go? I was like, hell yeah, I do. I think that was I oh god, I can't even remember, but I feel like that might have been Motion City's soundtrack. and like OK Go. I don't know. I went with somebody who sat behind me in history class in high school. We went and saw Matchbox 20 and Jack's Mannequin. That was a good one.
Ooh.
And then we left early because we had school the next day or something. And Jack's Mannequin, the Andrew, what's his last name?
McMahon.
Yeah. He was out in the parking lot and he signed my The Who shirt. Yeah.
You still have it?
No, that was high school. I moved so many times since then. I have no idea where that thing went. Yeah. I met so many just random people. I should have been murdered so many times.
Yeah, you should have.
So lucky that these have been such fun stories and not like this is how she died.
Can we just also take a break to just acknowledge how awesome OK Go's music videos are? Like, I forgot all about how good their videos are until this last week, and they're just so fucking creative.
Yeah.
Like, they're amazing.
They wear the best sweaters. I just remember running into them because I crowd surfed during Ocean State soundtrack. And so I was in the back of the room and they were back there and I like ran like straight into one. And I was just like, oh my God. And I told them how much I love their sweaters. And they hugged me.
Yeah, and they're still making cool videos. They made it like 5 months ago. It's really good. It's really trippy as hell. But yeah, amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I
haven't
forgot
seen
all about
anything
them.
new in a long time, but I'll check that out.
I'll send it to you. It's really cool. Yeah. So, well, I'm glad we both weren't murdered because then we wouldn't be here right now. One of us would be here. And
we both got really, really lucky with. But man, how much fun were we back in the day? Now we're old, and I feel it. Like, especially thinking about that stuff, I felt like I came alive for a second, and I'm like, oh man, you old.
I've always loved road trips. Like, I love flying, but I love driving way more because I feel even like 8-hour drives because you see so much more of like the country and the area. You know, but you don't just fly over it. So, I don't know. I would hands down do a 12-hour drive tomorrow if someone asked me to. I would do it hands down.
Yeah, like I just have a fear of missing out. So because of the FOMO, like I'm a really good person to have as like a passenger princess. I have all the snacks. I will take over driving if I have to. And I'll talk your ear off. And I'll choose like decent music. Sometimes it goes into a sad girl mood, but you know, you can't win them all.
As long as the music slaps 80% of the time, I can live with it.
Yeah, like I mean, you just go through times where it's just got to be a different kind of mood and you got to roll with it. Like we've been having a lot of K-pop Demon Hunters concerts in this loaner car that I have, and it's amazing. Amazing.
I've seen half of the film, but every now and then when I'm listening to the Spotify DJ, it like will play one of the songs, like the up or whatever. That song slaps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're all that's golden, and it's not even the best one.
But like so whenever I make playlists for road trips, they just bounce around. Like it'll be OK Go, and then it'll go to like Mumford and Sons, and then probably to Broadway, and then to like a Disney song, and then I'll go to like The Who, and then I'll go to like Pink Floyd, and then I'll jump to like Britney Spears. I'm like I don't like make a one genre playlist. It's like, okay, let's see what fits here and
I don't make a playlist is my problem. I just go with what Apple knows. It's Stephanie's station and it's brilliant. It introduces me to stuff I don't even know that I need. But then the kids do like call outs. And so they tell me what we have to listen to. And so it's been a lot of K-pop Demon Hunters and Spice Girls and Bewitched. Some Bewitched in there too.
Is there a new Bewitched? Like, is there a new show like
No,
the Bewitched? And like,
no,
wait, hold on.
it's the
Is
band.
Bewitched? Oh, okay. Because I was like, Bewitched is a TV show from the '60s. Like, are your kids?
Bewitched is a band from the 90s. Like,
Are they
this is from when
really?
I was a kid. Yeah. It's an Irish band.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
Look
I'll
it
have to
up.
look them up.
You
I'll
have
look it
to.
up.
It's hilarious that my kids, it's their dad, but
It's
it's hilarious that my kids request Bewitched because I'm like, I was obsessed with Bewitched when I was like 8.
well, I will look it up.
I'm a little embarrassed that everybody's going to know this, but that's okay.
we get embarrassed in this podcast. So this we're gonna obviously you're a great passenger princess, but you won't join me on a quest to go to these haunted places. You just won't do it.
I mean, most of the haunted places are no goes for me. If you asked about the nice ghost ones, then maybe. Or if I'm feeling particularly brave, then it'd have to be somewhere closer by because I won't be brave for long.
So this next story is called
Sorry.
"She Acted Like She Belonged, She Didn't" by OK Bandicoot 4525. Crash Bandicoot was such a great game back in the day. Spyro and Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my god, I
Amazing
love
games.
Spyro.
So fucking good. So good.
I love Spyro. My parents refused to buy it, so I just had to rent it as often as possible.
Well, if you ever get your
Yeah.
hands on a PS5, ever, they remastered Spyro, the entire, like, I think 4 games, and it's amazing. So,
No way. I want one of my coworkers was talking about getting rid of her PS5 for cheap, and I was like, I don't even know what I would need that for, but yes.
but yeah, but yes.
Yeah.
Um,
She hasn't
I
sold
want
it
to I want to preface this story with the day we moved in to my new townhome. My brother and I had lived together for a long time. The moving in wasn't unusual. On the first morning in our new place, I stepped outside to smoke a cigarette. My brother followed me, and we were talking about football when he suddenly froze, pointing toward the wooden frame of our covered patio. Written in big black marker was my name, Ryan. Neither of us had friends or family over yet because we had moved everything in ourselves. It hadn't been there. It hadn't been there the night before, and so we stood there confused, but never figured out how it got there. Now, fast forward 2 months. One night, I went to a bar down the street with a good friend while my brother stayed home. It was a normal night. I left the bar, grabbed some food, and got back around 1 a.m. My brother was already asleep, so I ate, went upstairs with my German Shepherd, and crashed. The next morning, I noticed something immediately wrong. My bedroom door was wide open, and my dog wasn't in the room. That never happens. My brother doesn't enter my room when I'm asleep, and he definitely doesn't let the dog out. Still, I brushed it off until I went downstairs. The first thing my brother asked me was, "Did you bring someone home last night?" I told him no. His face instantly changed. Fear, not confusion. He asked again, "Are you sure no one came back with you?" I swore I hadn't. I didn't even talk to anyone besides my friend. And that's when he told me what happened. At around 3 a.m., he heard loud noises downstairs. Thinking I was putting together the IKEA desk we had just bought, he got out of bed to yell at me for being so loud. When he reached the landing hallway down the staircase, he flicked on the light. At the bottom of the stairs was a girl. She was standing there, calmly picking up my desk box that had fallen over. She leaned against the wall, then looked straight up at him. Neither of them said a word. I asked why he didn't confront her or call the police. He said my German Shepherd was standing right next to her, completely relaxed, so he assumed she was someone I had brought home. What unsettled him the most was that she didn't panic at all when she saw him. She acted like she belonged there. After locking eyes, she casually walked into the living room instead of going out the front door, which was literally 2 feet behind her. He turned the light off and went back to bed, deciding to ask me who she was in the morning. And that's when everything clicked. My bedroom door had been wide open, and my dog was not with me. Whoever that girl was, at some point, she had been in my room. So whoever you are, let's never meet.
How
Can
do
you
you feel
imagine?
safe if your dog didn't even react to this person?
That's the wild part. Like a German
Like,
Shepherd,
are you just coexisting with this person?
a-
Or do you move
right?
immediately? Like, that's the only right answer, right? You
I
move.
feel like you move immediately because she obviously lives there in somewhere in your house or in the crawl space, in the attic or whatever.
Yeah, I can't.
That's why I would like a dog at some point because I feel like a dog would be a good security as long as the person doesn't live in your basement or your crawl space and they get used to the dog.
Oh my
Because my
god.
cats are not security of any kind.
The thought of that makes me want to puke.
Yeah, isn't the attic right above you?
Yeah, but I would hear if something was here, and we do have a lot of animals that would tell on if somebody was here. Yeah, and we have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, that's. Did you see that story that one guy, like 5, 10 years ago? Not 10 years ago, like probably 5, 7 years ago. He had been noticing like his dishes were out, like there was a bowl in the sink, and every now and then that wasn't his. He lived by himself, and like food went missing. And then he installed a camera, like to see what was happening, and someone crawled out of his fucking like little crawl space attic area, and at night would come downstairs and eat his food and go back up there. That's fucking freaky as hell.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
No,
I
thank you.
don't know. We used to have a dog that would bark if somebody like pulled into their driveway down the street, and so I just never worried about anything like even spooky happening in our house. Um and now, yeah, we have a lot of animals, so I just feel like I would know if something were going on. And then sometimes my uncle will leave cameras, just like he'll change the batteries and then just leave them sitting faced up, like in the kitchen, or and so I'll get the alerts on my watch because somebody moved something in the kitchen, so you'll just see like movement, and oh, my aunt was getting coffee. So you get like all the updates, even the weird motions of somebody just trying to live. There's
Yeah,
nobody in my.
I hate the motion sensor notifications because like my Nest camera or doorbell camera out front, it like any bug sets it off. So like it would say, "Oh, motion's detected," and obviously it's not anything. It's just a fucking spider or whatever.
Yeah, there
Uh,
is one out front that does. There's a spider building a web out there.
nice.
Yeah. There was also a spider building a web on my light, or on my rear view mirror. That's what it was, on my car. And we named him and everything.
I saw a. Wait, what'd you name him?
Cat.
Cat?
Yeah.
Like
Glad you asked.
CAT?
Cat. Yeah. Obviously, my daughter named him.
Uh,
She thinks it's hysterical.
Cat.
Cat.
That's a great name for A pet
Spider.
cat.
Yeah. Cat.
So you're gonna raise it. You're gonna keep it in a
Well,
container and raise it as your
first
own.
place that I parked, I thought somebody destroyed his web, but no, cat is or was still there. Daredevil though, absolute daredevil, because um like hanging on to the smallest part of the web, just floating in the wind. It's like, I have an hour drive. Like, I hope you get somewhere that's a little more safe than that. I feel like they did make it to work, but I don't know if by the end of the day moved to somewhere cooler. Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Poor cat.
We adored you, cat.
It, uh, this next story is called "My Date Invited Me to a Fake Barbecue and Then Wouldn't Let Me Leave, and the house had a soundproof music studio in the basement." And this is by user feral_doves. I'm so sorry this is so long. Maybe I put too much detail. I don't know. I don't post very often. I'll put a too long, didn't read at the end. This took place a while ago, 2015 or so, but I'll probably never forget it. I, around 21 and a female, was still fairly new in my city. I had just gotten out of a bad relationship, wasn't in the best place mentally, and didn't know a lot of people in town besides my ex and his friends. I was on a dating/hookup app looking for people to hang out with casually, maybe find a friend's benefit or something. I had matched with a 25-year-old guy, Simon, and we talked sporadically in the app for a few days. He explained he was in a band and living in a house with his bandmates. He sent me their music. It was just audio on YouTube with a heavily edited still image of 4 or 5 guys playing rock instruments, and one of them looked like him. The music was an interesting combination of styles, and not really for me, but whatever. He seemed like a nice enough guy. He stopped replying for a few days, and I figured that was that, and moved on. And then one day I was at work and got a message from him saying how sorry he'd been so busy, and invited me to a barbecue with his friends and bandmates in their yard. He explained that their band manager was providing them the house to live in. Based on the lack of views on the YouTube video and the fact that he only saw one video of him in the band, I figured he was probably exaggerating the whole band manager thing. I thought it was more likely something along the lines of a bar manager friend giving them a discount on rent in exchange for being a house band at their bar or something, and didn't think much of it beyond that. Normally, I would have just said no to going to a barbecue alone at the home of someone I don't really know, but I was really bored and figured I might be able to overcome some social anxiety and maybe even make friends there, since he made it sound like it was a pretty big party. I put the neighborhood he gave me into maps, and it was a suburban area with lots of families as far as I knew. I figured being in a yard on such a nice summer day wouldn't be overly risky because lots of neighbors would be outside. Plus, it was just a few train stops away from my workplace, and I was off in a few hours. I did tell him I wasn't overly comfortable with the idea since I did not know him well, but I would stop by for a bit if I didn't need to go inside the house at all. He said that was totally fine, which made me feel a lot better. I have made sure not to drink anything for the rest of my shift, so I wouldn't be risking needing to go inside to use the bathroom. I was anxious about showing up to a barbecue with people I didn't know, as he implied the event was already underway. Plus, I would have had a hard time finding a specific address from the backyard, so I asked Simon if he could meet me at the train station since he said it was a really quick walk. He agreed to do that, and I let him know when I was leaving work and what time maps said the train would get to his station. I sent Simon a message to tell him that I had arrived at the train station around 5:30 after I looked around and couldn't find him. He told me he was running behind and to just start walking toward the neighborhood. I was about halfway across the massive train station parking lot when I saw him slowly wandering toward me. I recognized his clothes, wearing bell bottoms when they were not common, especially for men, and long hair from far away, but up close his face looked pretty different from the photos. It might have been some heavy duty editing. I don't even know, but he kind of looked like a different guy. Older looking than the 25-year-old guy in the photos by 5 to 10 years. Maybe he used photos of his brother or something. I don't know. It was before AI. That was the first real red flag, but I brushed it off. Maybe he's just self-conscious. Maybe he smokes a lot and doesn't wear sunscreen and hadn't taken a picture in a while. All his pictures looked candid, so I figured he wasn't much of a selfie guy. And besides, I'm mostly here to make friends anyway, so I shouldn't judge his appearance so harshly. He was also clearly already drunk, but a lot of my ex's friends were heavy drinkers. That didn't seem strange. And he's hosting a barbecue after all. The second red flag came shortly after when we arrived at the front door. I reminded him that I wasn't comfortable going inside the house, but he assured me we would just have to walk through to get to the backyard. It wasn't the kind of neighborhood where you could just walk around the house to get to the backyard. You would have had to backtrack to the main road to go down the alley directly to the backyard. I figured he just forgot what I said about not wanting to go inside and didn't want to cause a bunch of trouble, so I went with it. We got in the house and immediately he closed the door and locked the deadbolt and knob behind me. I didn't think that was too weird since no one was hanging out inside and a lot of people are just in the habit of locking the door when they come in. But it still gave me the heebie-jeebies for some reason. And then Simon told me he'd really like to give me a tour of the house. I politely declined and reminded him that I was just there for the barbecue. He said that he and his bandmates had worked really hard to get the house, and he was really proud of it. At that point, I was really skeptical because usually when guys would tell me things that seemed a bit far-fetched, they'd let the truth slip by the time they got me in their house. But still, I convinced myself that I was being unreasonable. Girl, no. You blew past all the red flags. Just stopped.
I'm literally just writing red flag.
Well, like, when she was listing off all the shit she had to do, like she did, like, you know, as a precaution, like, that's crazy.
If he wasn't
like,
at the train station when I showed up, like, sorry, bye.
yeah, I'm out of there. Peace.
Yeah.
Like, no,
You
thank
knew
you.
what time I was showing up. Like, I'm going. This already felt sketch.
Yeah, and also if you show up and you're like 10 years older than your photos and you're drunk, no, I'm good. Turning around, going back to the train.
Yeah.
He insisted it be quick. Not the wisest choice, I know, but I was pretty good at explaining away red flags. So at this point,
apparently,
Simon was still mostly a dopey stoner art guy as far as I was concerned. He really didn't seem like a threat, just an insecure oddball who sucks at communicating and lies a little bit. Always the guys who seem like they're a little bit kooky, oddball, weird guys that are the ones you have to watch out for. They're always like the all the serial killers are like, we're weirdos.
yeah.
Not unlike my ex, who was definitely emotionally and verbally abusive, but it never escalated past that. I figured at worst he'd get handsy, and I'd get called a prude for not sleeping with him. I didn't have a lot of self-worth at the time, so obviously, so I went with it. The tour started pretty uneventfully, other than the tour started pretty uneventfully, other than that the decor The decor in the common areas was obviously chosen by a middle-aged Martha Stewart enthusiast and not a bunch of guys in a band or their fake band manager. I didn't know if this should make me feel better or worse. On one hand, he was clearly lying, but on the other, it made me think it was probably just someone's mom's house and she was out of town. And he didn't want to tell me he lived at a friend's parents' home and didn't actually have a paying job. Again, total red flag, but I could rationalize it at the time.
Yeah.
The bedroom doors were all closed, red flag. Bathroom was unremarkable. He then showed me the kitchen, and I finally saw through the window that there was no one in the backyard. There weren't even barbecue supplies around. No burgers thawing on the counter. No cocktail supplies lying around. Nothing. I asked him where everyone was and why he lied about the barbecue, and he told me his bandmates were on tour still. They were just running behind due to a van trouble, but they should be back any minute so we could start the party. I asked him why he wasn't on tour with them if he's in the band. I don't even recall what his answer was to that because it didn't make any sense. At this point, I'm out of mental gymnastics to convince myself this guy isn't just completely full of shit, and I'm really freaked out. I started trying to figure out a way to get out of the situation. I hoped that once he was done the tour, we can go outside, even just for a minute, and I'd leave. I've been in some pretty sketchy situations in the past, but luckily nothing so bad that they tried very hard to physically stop me when I walked away in a semi-public space. I just wasn't comfortable doing it inside the house. I knew this guy was full of shit, but I had no idea how much worse it would get. I instinctively pretended to believe his bullshit. He offered me a beer. I said no thanks because I had to work in the morning. He said okay and cracked one for himself. Then he wanted to take the tour downstairs. I could see from the top of the stairs the basement was really dark and creepy with really small windows, so I refused. I asked if we can go back outside. He said after the tour. I tried to argue about going into the basement, told him I have a spider phobia, don't like basements, etc. All lies.
I said I wasn't going to be in this house at all.
If she goes down the basement, I swear to God. All lies, but anything that would get that wouldn't let him realize. All lies, but anything that wouldn't let him realize that he was what I was afraid of. He started to get agitated at my reluctance, so I figured it would be better to just let him show me the damn basement, and then hopefully we can go outside because I really didn't know what else to do. The basement was pretty unremarkable. Couch, TV, elliptical, until I noticed something that gave me chills. The house was probably built in the 1990s or late 80s at the absolute earliest, but I saw a door that looked just like the heavy foam lined door to the cold storage room in my grandmom's house. The kind that only opened from the outside. It was just a smaller version of the big metal doors on commercial walk-in fridges. It looked really out of place in this house. I would absolutely not go anywhere near that door. He opened it and told me that it was their soundproof music studio. I looked inside from a few meters away. It did indeed look soundproof. It was about the size of a bedroom, and I could see a few guitars and amps in it. Mattress toppers on the walls. No drum kit or recording equipment that I could see. He insisted I go inside to get a better look. Nope. He was standing outside the door, motioning for me to go inside. Holy shit, the alarm bells are really going off now. At this point, I realized I could totally die here if I'm not careful, and I turned around to run up the stairs. He closed the door and followed me, asking what's wrong, acting like I'm being all unreasonable for not wanting to see his soundproof music studio. So I'm realizing this is a way sketchier situation than any of my ex's bullshit, and I'm freaked out. At this point, my main objective was getting out of the house. The front and back doors were both closed and locked. So if I tried to run, he'd be able to get to me before I could get out the door. The bathroom did not have a window. The house had a convoluted floor plan that I wasn't familiar with, and he was much bigger than I am. He was the tall, lanky type who could run fast even if they're out of shape, and smoke a pack a day. I pretended that I was okay with hanging out with him in the hopes that he'd chill out a bit. We made small talk for a few minutes. He cracked another beer, and thankfully he calmed down. I desperately mentioned it again that it was beautiful outside and suggested we go sit in the yard while we wait. He said no and started to get agitated. I told him that I could stay, but I'd really like to smoke a cigarette. He told me that we would smoke cigarettes inside and point it to a cereal bowl full of cigarette butts. God damn it. We sat down.
Inside. Leave. God, I hate this guy.
We sat down at the table and lit some cigarettes. As he was smoking, he started rolling a joint, which he promptly lit as soon as his cigarette was done. He offered me some, and I said no thanks. He insisted, so I took the smallest puff I could. Oh my god. You are lucky to be alive, girl. What the fuck?
This story is actually from her ghost. There's no way.
Like, how the... Why? Okay, let's recap here. He went to a stranger's house. He showed up late, drunk. Pictures did not match anything that he looked like in person. No one's at the house. She had to go inside. She had to go on a tour. She went into the basement where there's a soundproof room. Granted, there were guitars in there, but a soundproof, sketchy-ass room. And then he offered you drugs, which you have no idea what you're smoking because it could be anything. And you took a puff. Okay. He insisted, so I took a small puff. I'm a pretty seasoned weed smoker, but I pretended to cough excessively and told him I'm a novice. That's more than enough for me. For a liar himself, he thankfully wasn't very good at picking up on the lies of others. After we smoked, he asked if I'd like to watch a movie until his bandmates got back. I told him I was really looking forward to spending the day outside and suggested we go for a walk or visit the park. Ideas that he did not like or appreciate.
Of course.
At this point, I was trying to keep as much distance as possible between us, but he stayed close enough to me that I could smell the beer on his breath. He grabbed me by the waist. Oh my god. And I backed away and asked about the barbecue.
This is when I start swinging.
This is when I you throw fists. Like, this is when you start like punching. I backed away and asked about the barbecue food to try and change the subject and make him think I still believed that he was telling me. He started to get angry again and sternly reiterated that his bandmates would be home any minute, and my anxiety was absolutely through the roof. I tried to calm him down again with generic small talk. Now, I don't know how I got so lucky, but the next thing that happened might have saved me. Simon went to the fridge to get another beer and pulled out an empty box. At this point, he's getting even more pissed off than before, so I went out on a limb and suggested we go get more beer for the party because I was out of ideas. I was terrified that it would enrage him even more to suggest that once again we leave the house, but I had to try. Thankfully, though, his eyes lit up the possibility that I could actually be down to drink with him, and he agreed. As we were walking to the liquor store, I still didn't really have a plan because I was no longer comfortable just walking away from this fucking menace in this weirdly desolate suburb. But I was extremely relieved to be out of that house. I walked with him to the liquor store, and when we got there, told him I didn't need to go inside if he was just going to grab some beer. He insisted that I go inside. At this point, I was so stressed and frazzled, I just went with him and hoped that a good opportunity to leave would arise. Girl, just
At this point, buy him the beer, break away. He'll
take a
care
phone
about the
call,
beer.
something. Like, oh, my mom's calling me.
Like, I don't know. She's put I don't know. So, a series of bad decisions here.
When we got inside the store, he asked what kind of beer I wanted. I reminded him that I had to work tomorrow and didn't want to drink much. He demanded to know what kind of beer I wanted, so I just named the first one that came to mind. We went to pay, and the cashier was kind of an asshole, so I didn't ask for help. I probably should have, but I panicked and didn't. I hoped there might be someone in the parking lot who might help me if I made a scene, but there was nobody. I really regretted not asking the liquor store guy for help, but also recalled the times my ex told people I was crazy, they wouldn't take me seriously. Liquor store guy definitely seemed like he would have fell for that. So probably for the best, I didn't expect him to help me. I had one last idea before I took my chances just trying to run away or scream. There was a drugstore across from the liquor store. I told Simon I had to go buy a toothbrush or some shit that vaguely implied I might stay over. He eagerly agreed to this, but tried to follow me into the store. I told him you're not even allowed to bring beer into a drugstore. I don't know if that's even true, but I really doubt it's any kind of law, and luckily this drunk douchebag believed it and agreed to wait outside. Now, my naive ass thought maybe I could just wander around this drugstore long enough and he would either get the hint or get sketched out or bored and leave. But no, I must have wandered around the store for at least a half an hour, and this jackass is still standing there in the window. This creep didn't even have his phone out. Every time I checked to see if he was still there, he was just staring through the window looking for me. I didn't feel like I had anybody I could call in the city to help me. The cops here don't usually take things like this very seriously, and the store workers looked like they were mostly high school students and didn't want to drag them into this, so I really didn't feel like I had any options. After being in there for so long, I was surprised he didn't come in to see what was taking so long. I thought maybe I could lose him in the aisles and sneak out of the store if he did come inside, but no. I ended up hovering around the tills and waited until a big group of friendly looking people were paying. I followed them out of the store and immediately told Simon to leave me alone and go home. I said it firmly and loudly enough to imply that I would make a scene if need be. Simon looked at the people getting into their car, who were now pausing and looking at us, because I had nearly yelled at him, and then he just turned around and left. It was bizarrely anticlimactic, which I was very thankful for. I ran to the train station, which was thankfully in a different direction than his house from the store, and I never heard from him again. When I got home, his app profile had either blocked me or been deleted. Years later, after I stopped compartmentalizing the whole thing, I wish I could have reported him or something. It bothers me to wonder if he tried it again with someone else, but made sure the fridge was stocked first. But at the time, I didn't think anyone would take me seriously. I was embarrassed of my own choices, and I just wanted to move on from the whole thing. Plus, all I really had was a likely fake first name and general idea of where the house was, which was probably not even his. I'll probably never know any more than I do now. Maybe that's for the best. Anyways, Simon, you lying piece of shit, let's not meet again. What I've always wanted to know and like have someone post is like the flip side of these like stories. Like, not necessarily that this guy is like a good guy, but there are some stories where it's like I saw this really creepy looking person and outside and they scared me. Like, imagine like their side of the story. Like, some guy was like taking pictures of me and like watching me closely.
Yeah, I was having a really weird day, and this person kept staring at me, so I was staring back at them, and they kept staring back at me, and I was like, what the hell's their problem? And I kept running into them all day.
Yeah, I've always wondered. Like, I've always wished I could see like a flip side story, but honestly, like, I don't know. Maybe this guy was not a threat. He was just an awkward, weird, creepy dude who legitimately just wanted to hang out. But he like there's so many red flags that you just blew past and like just still stayed over at his house until it got unbearable.
Yeah, no. There were so many times in this that I had been like, I need you to get the fuck out of my way.
Like this second he locked the door, red flag.
Yeah, the
Like
panic. I wouldn't be able to be cool. I freak
like
out. I can't breathe.
I've never been to a house party where like even if it's all in the backyard where a front door is locked. Like it's always unlocked because people are coming and going all the time. Like I have never seen someone lock their door for a party like that. So
Maybe if you're underage.
right, yeah. If he comes to the station and he's not even the same age as his photos, turn around. If he
Yeah.
suggests that you start walking on your own to his house, red flag, out of there.
Nah, bro. Let's not meet.
Let's not meet. Let's not do that. Like creepy motherfucker. Guys, if you have any stories like this, we'd love to hear them. So send your stories to us. We'll read them. We'd love to know how many creeps are out there in the world.
Yeah, send us your stories.
We demand tribute now. Um, yeah. So creepy as hell. That's a. I feel like the creepier one though is the one where the girl was in the house with the brothers and no one knew who she was. She was just fucking chilling in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't with
By
that.
far,
I just don't fear that life because it couldn't be us.
no, 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 no. But thank you everyone for joining us on this journey. Listening to us ramble and do all the things, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.